Krishna.
Take 42.
Yeah. So we're trying to...
Make sure the sound is working.
Yeah, so...
Having some technical issues.
Yes. Alright, it's Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 5. The chapter's titled Remembrance of Lord Krishna. Alright, seems to be working.
Finally, we've
Hallelujah.
got sound. Hallelujah, praise the Lord.
I was going to go home.
Okay.
Alright, Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Alright, so text 5. It was so observed by Vidura that Uddhav had all the transcendental bodily changes due to total ecstasy, and he was trying to wipe away tears of separation from his eyes. Thus, Vidura could understand that Uddhav had completely assimilated extensive love for the Lord. Papa. It's fine. It's fine. The symptoms of the highest order of devotional life were observed by Vidura. An experienced devotee of the Lord, and he confirmed Uddhav's perfectional stage of love of Godhead. Ecstatic bodily changes are manifest from the spiritual plane and are not artificial expressions developed by practice. There are 3 different stages of development in devotional service. The first stage is that of following the regulative principles prescribed in the codes of devotional service. The second stage is that of assimilation and realization of the steady condition of devotional service. And the last stage is that of ecstasy symptomized by transcendental bodily expression. The 9 different modes of devotional service, such as hearing and chanting and remembering, are the beginning of the process. By regular hearing of the glories and pastimes of the Lord, the impurities in the student's heart begin to be washed off. The more one is cleansed of impurities, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. Gradually, these activities take the forms of steadiness, firm faith, taste, realization, and assimilation, one after another. These different stages of gradual development increase love of God to the highest stage. And in the highest stage, there are still more symptoms, such as affection, anger, and attachment, which gradually rising in exceptional cases to the Mahabhav stage, which is generally not possible for the living entities. What is that? Not possible for the living? Who's it? What?
Means not for us normal jivas.
Condition.
Yeah, condition.
Right. Alright. All these were manifested by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the personification of love of God.
In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami, the chief disciple of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these transcendental symptoms displayed by pure devotees like Uddhav are systematically described. We have written a summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu entitled The Nectar of Devotion, and one may consult this book for more detailed information on the science of devotional service.
Verse 6. The great devotee Uddhav soon came back from the abode of the Lord to the human plane. So he was in some trance, spiritual trance. And wiping his eyes, he awakened his reminiscence of the past and spoke to Vidura in a pleasing mood. Oh God. Papa. When Uddhav was fully absorbed in the transcendental ecstasy of love of God, he actually forgot all about the external world. The pure devotee lives constantly in the abode of the Supreme Lord, even in the present body, which apparently belongs to this world. The pure devotee is not exactly on the bodily plane, since he is absorbed in the transcendental thought of the Supreme. When Uddhav wanted to speak to Vidura, he came down from the abode of the Lord, Dwarka, to the material...
Came down from the abode of the Lord, Dwarka.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
To the material plane of human beings. Even though a pure devotee is present on this mortal planet, he is here in relation to the Lord for engagement in transcendental loving service and not for any material cause. A living entity can live either on the material plane or in the transcendental abode of the Lord. in accordance with his existential condition. The conditional changes of the living entity are explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in the instructions given to Srila Rupa Goswami by Lord Sri Chaitanya. The living entities all over the universe are enjoying the effects of their respective fruitive results of their own work, life after life. Out of all of them, some may be influenced by the association of pure devotees and thus get the chance to execute devotional service by attainment of taste. This taste is the seed of devotional service. And one who is fortunate enough to have received such a seed is advised to sow it in the core of his heart. As one cultivates a seed by pouring water to fructify it, the seed of devotional service sown in the heart of the devotee may be cultured by pouring water in the form of hearing and chanting of the holy name and pastimes of the Lord. Look at my hair, cheapers.
I noticed. I was going to tell you when you stopped.
What can I do?
It's windy.
Oh, the creeper of devotional service, so nourished, gradually grows, and the devotee, acting as a gardener, goes on pouring the water of constant hearing and chanting. The creeper of devotional service gradually grows so high that it passes through the entire material universe and enters into the spiritual sky, growing still higher and higher until it reaches the planet Goloka Vrindavan. The devotee gardener is in touch with the abode of the Lord, even from the material plane, by dint of performing devotional service to the Lord, simply by hearing and chanting. As a creeper takes shelter of another, stronger tree, similarly the creeper of devotional service, nourished by the devotee, takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, and thus becomes fixed. When the creeper is fixed, then the fruit of the creeper comes into existence, and the gardener who nourished it is able to enjoy this fruit of love, and his life becomes successful. That would have attained this stage is evident from his dealings. He could simultaneously reach the supreme planet and still appear in this world.
Any thoughts or reflections on that beautifully poetic purport?
Yeah, it's interesting because we're studying Raja Vidya, the King of Knowledge, with the ladies' ashram at the moment, and similar points I just read today, because it's talking about action and inaction, and inaction, which is a mind bender for a lot of people. And Prabhupada's making the point that you judge, look at that dog, that you judge someone's actions by why they're doing it and their motive, because you're trying to explain that, which I was also explaining when I was discussing with the ladies, that sometimes people think it's black and white. Oh, if you're in the temple or this, that's service. And a lot of people have this thought that if you're outside, I'm not sure what that is, but what I was understanding what Prabhupada was saying, that wherever you are, and he gives the example of Arjuna on the battlefield, you can be connected with Krishna very tightly, very intensely, and the connection is real. And so we don't judge, he was saying, according to what they're doing, but more of internal why they're doing it and who they're doing it for. So, someone could be working in a factory, someone could be a parent, and they could be more connected than someone who's just on the altar in front of the deities and not realizing what they're doing. So it's internal. The point was it's internal. So even if he's here in the world and someone else judging him may not get what he's doing or where he's at.
That's about consciousness.
Yeah.
But I really like this analogy of the seed of bhakti being sown in the heart and the watering process, and it fructifies, and then it grows and grows and grows, and it penetrates the covering of the material universe, and then goes back into the spiritual world.
This is my Bhakti creeper trying to...
This is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita conversation, I think, with Sanatana Goswami, and this Bhakti Lata Bij, and this whole process, and the attainment of taste, and how we're meant to attain real taste. In the beginning we get what's called shadow taste, but then through regulated sadhana bhakti, and by controlling the mind, through chanting, trying to offenselessly chant the holy names, then we actually develop taste. But that can take some time.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the next 2:7, chapter 2, text 7. Sri Uddhav said, "My dear Vidura, the sun of the world, Lord Krishna, has set, and our house has now been swallowed by the great snake of time. What can I say to you about our welfare?" Daunting, huh? Really missing Krishna. The disappearance of Krishna, the disappearance of the Krishna sun may be explained as follows, according to the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vidura was struck with great sorrow when he got the hint of the annihilation of the great Yadu dynasty, as well as his own family, the Kuru dynasty. Uddhav could understand the grief of Vidura, and therefore he first of all wanted to sympathize with him by saying that after the sun set, everyone is in darkness. Since the entire world was merged in the darkness of grief, neither Vidura nor Uddhav nor anyone else could be happy. Uddhav was as much aggrieved as Vidura, and there was nothing further to be said about their welfare.
The comparison of Krishna to the sun is very appropriate. As soon as the sun sets, darkness automatically appears, but the darkness experienced by the common man does not affect the sun itself, either at the time of sunrise or of sunset. Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are exactly like that of the sun. He appears and disappears in innumerable universes, and as long as he is present in a particular universe, there is all transcendental light in that universe. But the universe from which he passes away is put into darkness. His pastimes, however, are everlasting. The Lord is always present in some universe, just as the sun is present in either the eastern or the western hemisphere. The sun is always present either in India or in America. But when the sun is present in India, the American land is in darkness, and when the sun is present in America, the Indian hemisphere is in darkness.
So the Lord is always present. As the sun appears in the morning and gradually rises to the meridian and then again sets in one hemisphere, while simultaneously rising in the other, so Lord Krishna's disappearance in one universe and the beginning of his different pastimes in another take place simultaneously. As soon as one pastime is finished here, it is manifest in another universe, and thus his Nitya Leela, or eternal pastimes, are going on without ending. As the sunrise takes place once in 24 hours, similarly the pastimes of Lord Krishna take place in a universe once in a daytime of Brahma, the account of which is given in the Bhagavad Gita as 4,300,000,000 solar years. But wherever the Lord is present, all his different pastimes as described in the revealed scriptures take place at regular intervals.
As at sunset, the snakes become powerful, thieves are encouraged, ghosts become active, the lotus becomes disfigured, and the Chakravaki laments. So with the disappearance of Lord Krishna, the atheists feel enlivened and the devotees become sorry.
I guess the atheists are compared to those creatures of the night or darkness. Actually, someone asked me once, who was describing this thing, how Krishna goes from one universe to the next, performing his pastime once in a day of Lord Brahma. And they brought up this point that if all the universes are created at the same time, then it would seem to make sense that Krishna is performing his pastimes simultaneously in all the different universes, because the timings are, set. Of course, we're discussing the timings here in this universe, but theoretically that's the idea. So it's a bit of an interesting question, because it seems that the answer would be that somehow, even though because all the universes were more or less simultaneously created, but it would seem that the Lord moves between the different universes at different intervals. So, like that. Anyway, got distracted. The dogs are fighting. Dogs of war. Okay, so text number 8. This universe with all its planets is most unfortunate. Even more unfortunate are the members of the Yadu dynasty because they could not identify Lord Hari as the personality of Godhead any more than the fish could identify the moon. Interesting. Purport. Would have lamented for the unfortunate persons of the world who could not recognize Lord Shri Krishna in spite of seeing all his transcendental godly qualities. From the very beginning of his appearance within the prison bars of King Kamsa up to his Masala Leela, although he exhibited his potencies as the personality of Godhead in the 6 opulences of wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, the foolish persons of the world could not understand that he was the Supreme Lord. Foolish persons might have thought him an extraordinary historic figure because they had no intimate touch with the Lord. But more unfortunate were the family members of the Lord, the members of the Yadu dynasty, who were always in company with the Lord but were unable to recognize him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Uddhav lamented his own fortune as also because although he knew Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he could not properly use the opportunity to render devotional service to the Lord. He regretted everyone's misfortune, including his own. The pure devotee of the Lord thinks himself most unfortunate. That is due to excessive love for the Lord and is one of the transcendental perceptions of viraha, the suffering of separation.
It is learned from the revealed scriptures that the moon was born from the milk ocean. There is a milk ocean in the upper planets, and there Lord Vishnu, who controls the heart of every living being, as Paramatma, the super soul, resides as a Kishura Dakshay Vishnu. Those who do not believe in the existence of the ocean of milk because they have experienced only of the salty water in the ocean should know that the world is also called the Gau, which means a cow. The urine of a cow is salty, and according to Ayurvedic medicine, the cow's urine is very effective in treating patients suffering from liver trouble. Such patients may not have any experience of the cow's milk because milk is never given to liver patients. But the liver patient may know that the cow has milk also, although he has never tasted it. Similarly, the men who have experienced only of this tiny planet where the saltwater ocean exists may take information from the revealed scriptures that there is also an ocean of milk, although we have never seen it. From this ocean of milk, the moon was born, but the fish in the milk ocean could not recognize that the moon was not another fish and was different from them. The fish took the moon to be one of them, or maybe something illuminating, but nothing more. The unfortunate persons who do not recognize Lord Krishna are like such fish. They take him to be one of them, although a little extraordinary in opulence, strength, etc. The Bhagavad Gita 9:11 confirms such foolish persons to be most unfortunate. Avajananti mamuda manusim tanum asritam.
Interesting interesting comments, huh?
Fishy men.
Well, first one is this idea, yeah, of course. I mean, just because we have experience of the saltwater ocean here, we think that's the way all oceans are. But there are some oceans, even here. I mean, there's also freshwater lakes and saltwater. And then there's some that have so much salt that you can, like, float on top of it. And, there's also oceans of lava flowing underneath the earth. And there's also oceans of oil underneath the earth, which they tap into and bring up. And so the idea is that, an ocean of milk, we just think, oh, preposterous. But that's, we're like Dr. Frog. We live in our well, and we think we know everything. And well, we really don't know everything by any stretch of the imagination. But then also, the analogy that's given is the fish. Even though the moon is born from the ocean of milk, the fish in the milk ocean look at the moon like, where did that come from? So they don't really know very much. So those of us, if we can't recognize Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we're just like fish in that ocean that aren't very intelligent, I guess. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I was just thinking, it says Krishna is described as a monsoon rain cloud.
His skin is the color.
Which is what, like grey, bluey?
Well, it's grey, black.
Grey,
Blackish
black.
blue.
Blackish blue. So even in appearance he wouldn't have looked like everyone else.
Well, but I mean, in India, in some places there are definitely people who are quite dark skin. Well, no, I mean, I've definitely seen some people. They're not exactly blue, but he's not exactly blue either.
But
it's
that's
like
how
some blackies blue. That's what I've understood.
Oh,
but I've seen some people that they're like pretty black.
Yeah.
I mean, like very black. Dark.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then the skin reflects a certain way. Just like, I mean, there's so many different skin colors, isn't there?
Yeah.
So like American Indians are considered red skinned.
I know, but maybe
Indians are brown skinned.
I'm equating it to
yellow
growing
skin,
up because
skin.
the only colour he's been depicted, Krishna, in pictures that I've seen is blue. So it's Krishna's blue.
Lord Ram is depicted as green.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's a stand out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like Avatar, the movie Avatar.
Right.
Which is an interesting thing we could discuss, how that movie so much relates to, I mean, there's that Vaishnav Tilak, and, it's pretty far out.
We're not promoting the film, but
we're not.
If you want to watch a clip on YouTube.
Okay, so 2:11 or 2:9, right?
Yes.
And I think this will be our last one today.
All right.
The Yadus were all experienced devotees, learned and expert in psychic study. Over and above this, they were always with the Lord in all kinds of relaxations, and still they were only able to know him as the one supreme who dwells everywhere. In the Vedas it is said that the Supreme Lord or the Paramatma cannot be understood simply by the strength of one's erudition or power of mental speculation. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyo na medaya na bahuna shrutena. That's from the Katha Upanishad 1:2-23. He can be known only by one who has the mercy of the Lord. The Yadavas were all exceptionally learned and experienced, but in spite of their knowing the Lord as the one who lives in everyone's heart, they cannot understand that he is the original personality of Godhead. Would you like to finish reading? Share.
This lack of knowledge was not due to their insufficient erudition, it was due to their misfortune. In Vrindavan, however, the Lord is not even known as a Paramatma, because the residents of Vrindavan were pure unconventional devotees of the Lord and could think of him only as their object of love. They did not know that he is a personality of Godhead. The Yadus, or the residents of Dwarka, however, could know Lord Krishna as Vasudev, or the Supersoul living everywhere, but not as the Supreme Lord. As scholars of the Vedas, they verified the hymns Eko Deva, Sarva Bhuta Divasa, Antaryami, and Vrishninam Paradevata. The Yadus therefore accepted Lord Krishna as the Supersoul incarnated in their family, and not more than that.
So as the Supersoul incarnated.
And not more than that. Can you imagine that's my cousin? We reckon he's the Supersoul, but whatever.
Interesting. So, okay. Well, thank you all very much. Gorpanim's coming up soon.
Yes, Sunday.
By the time...
You'll see this on Friday.
Oh, is it? This is Friday? Okay, so Gorpanim is coming Sunday, so please get involved however you can. Watch online.
Yeah.
And don't miss it. It's the Gaudiya Vaishnava New Year. So Happy New Year.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.